Hello from the top of a mountain. Can you say hi? Haleakalā National Park is one of the most popular things to do in Maui. Today we're spending the day driving up the mountain, checking out the overlooks, and making our way to the summit. Come with us for some of the most incredible views as well as tips and tricks if you plan on visiting this amazing place in Maui. Most famous for its morning sunrise. You have to have a reservation to come here at sunrise, and we chose not to go that route because it involves leaving for the day at like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. So we are just here during the day. There's mixed reviews on coming at sunrise. Some people say sunrise is overrated, and some people say it's the best. So we won't be able to answer that for you. But we are doing the very first little nature trail here in the national park. It's called Hosmer Grove, and it's, like I said, a nature trail, so it's not an intense hike. It's like you can either do like around a half a mile, or there's like a shortcut too to make it a little bit shorter. There's a lot more foliage here than there is in the rest of the park, so we're just kind of enjoying the greenery before it gets a little bit more barren. And we're going to make our way up the mountain to the summit. Hopefully we, as we were coming up here, are above some of the clouds, and as we know from being here for a week now, or for a few days now, those clouds can roll in quick for the day. So we're hoping to beat the clouds and the crowds, but we'll see. So this is a good start to the day. Kids needed to stretch their legs, or at least get out of the car. It's about an hour and a half here from our place. So
Hey.
what do you think of your first hike? Oh. Clouds are rolling in over here. Just finished up the trail. It was pretty easy. It was perfect with two little kids. William was able to hike some of it with Mitchell's help, and I was able to carry Claire with no issue. So it was just perfect, and it was a great spot to stretch our legs after like the hour and a half it took to get to this point. So this is located right inside the national park. So basically you pay, and then I think it's a mile or maybe even less from the pay station to here. So it's just perfect. There are bathrooms here as well, and there's a campsite here. So if you wanted to camp, this would be a great place. One thing to mention, it is cold up here, so make sure you bring some warmer clothes. This Florida girl brought, this is like a beach cover up. That's like what I have for warm clothes. That's what I was able to pack for this trip. I didn't forget. That's just what I have for warm clothes. So make sure you come prepared for that. Again, this is just the start of the national park, so we're going to be getting higher. We're already above some of the clouds, so it's going to be getting even colder. So come prepared for that. So far, the roads from the start to here weren't too bad. I'm kind of a baby when it comes to windy mountain roads, so I didn't like them, but they weren't to the point that I felt like we needed to turn around or anything like that. Now, if you were coming for sunrise, doing that in the pitch black, I think you'd be fine with what we've seen so far. I'm sure, again, that I'll need to come back and give you an update once we go up higher. But doing it in all dark wouldn't be my favorite, but it's not sketchy. You're going up really high, but it doesn't feel like it. So the roads are really well maintained. There's guardrails. I took a time lapse, so you'll see that. But yeah, roads are okay. So it doesn't feel like you're on the side of the mountain necessarily when you're coming up here. I mean, there's a few spots that do for sure. But I'm gonna zoom in, and that road right there is where you're driving. And so when you look at other people driving on the side of the mountain, it definitely looks like they're on the side of the mountain. But for the most part, it doesn't necessarily feel quite as scary as it looks when you see other cars. We are up just a little bit higher. I'm gonna zoom in again on the road. It's hard to see almost until you see the car. Wow, isn't that crazy?
All right, we are at the Haleakalā Lookout. It's pretty incredible up here. It's a wild drive, but it's not too bad. The roads get a little turn, whatever, but it's not like the road to Hana or anything. But it's incredible. Definitely worth any view. We're on our way up to the crater right now, which will be even just crazier, I imagine. But yeah, so right now we're sitting above the clouds, obviously. Today's actually a really clear day for this. Usually it's a little bit more, I guess, cloudy on the way up here, going through bands of clouds. So this is just very fortunate to how clear it is. I know you kind of see the clouds here, but you can really see over the top of them, and you can see all the way around here. That yeah, it's pretty sweet.
At this lookout, elevation is 8,800 square feet. Behind me, this crater is 7.5 miles long and 2.5 miles wide, which is just incredible. This is crazy. I'm really glad we heard about this location. It's not very well visited. A lot of people pass it. A lot of people also pass that nature trail that we hit up, which, depending on how cool the rest of the day is, that could be like a time thing. I think it was worth it, but sometimes the more you go, the more you realize that it gets cooler the more you do. So anyway, this is crazy. Other things about this location is that we are actually really close to the moon, and astronauts did some training here as well. So this is just a really cool place. After dark, it's cool to come here to do stargazing, and I don't think we're gonna make it to after dark. Our kids have been in bed long before the sun goes down since we've gotten here in Hawaii, and it's 10 a.m. So we got to our first stop. If you're looking for like timing, we got to our first stop around 9 a.m. We definitely took our time, and we are here around 10 a.m. So that's kind of the time that we're making if you're curious. This is the Kalahaku Lookout. It's about a mile from where we just were. You can have views that are very similar to the place that we just were. It's just like a little bit higher. And you can also climb. There's like some stairs. And on the other side, you can see the crater floor. Now that kind of depends on the clouds. We've got quite a few clouds today, but you can still tell it's a much different, much different view, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So even with the clouds, you can tell it's different. Okay, something to know is that the clouds change like very quickly. So if you come here and it's covered in clouds, if you stick around a little bit, it might change. We're already seeing the clouds change right before our eyes, and I'm hoping it'd be so cool if they cleared up completely so we could see it both with clouds and completely clear. That's probably a big wish, but it is cool to watch them change. And so don't get too discouraged if you're seeing clouds. It's a beautiful view either way. We have made it to the Haleakalā Summit Visitor Center. Based on how busy it is here compared to how busy it has been at all of the other stops, I think most people drive straight here. It just has not been busy anywhere else we've gone. It's also actually not very busy here. A good amount of people so that you don't feel like you're completely alone. I think that'd be kind of creepy for me because I get nervous. But definitely not busy. But much busier than any of our other stops where we were pretty much alone. That was cool. So really cool to have some of those spots to ourselves. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna show you where people are hiking. It is absolutely crazy how teeny tiny they look. Okay, you can kind of see the trail there. Maybe you can tell those are people. Look at that. Wow, they look like ants. Isn't that crazy? All right, this is where you can jump on a few trails. We are not going to do that today. There are various levels. There's the sand. What is it called? Oh, sliding. Sliding sand can be a 3-hour-ish trail. I think it was like 2.5 miles there and out. So you come back the same way you go in. So a lot of people do that one and they just turn around when they want to. We had planned to do it as long as we could handle it, but it's just not working with nap time, and that's totally fine. And then there's like a harder one that I think is 11 miles. And then like the 11-mile one is 2 miles of like really steep coming back. So that one's for very experienced hikers only. That one we wouldn't even think about attempting, to be honest. And then you can see these hikers on the side of the mountain. They're actually going to the very top for a cool view, which would be gorgeous up there, I'm sure. That right there on the right is a silver sword, and they take 50 years to bloom and then die. They're also really like fragile, very easy to damage by stepping on them. On our way home, we stopped at Leota's Kitchen and Pie Shop to grab some mini pies to go. We were told about this place and told that we had to come here to try the pies, and I'm so glad. I definitely recommend grabbing one when you are in town, or grab one of each like we did so that you can try every single one. The coconut cream was our favorite. It was seriously so good. This place also has a full breakfast and lunch menu with sandwiches and things like that if you're hungry. So it can be a one-stop shop if you want to stop and grab some food on your way home or on your way out for the day. And following our takeout tradition on this trip, we also grabbed takeout for our late lunch slash early dinner at the Maui Fish Market. It's a seafood market with local catch and it's really fresh. This is a really popular spot, so the lines can get really long. We were there at a really weird hour of the day to eat, so it wasn't too bad when we were there. But I just feel like those lines just speak to how good it is, anyways. The inside isn't anything too fancy, which I also feel makes it more authentic, to be honest. The food was really good, and it's a good thing because this was our only meal of the day. We tried a little bit of everything, so I definitely recommend this place. You can eat there, they have a few tables, but it's a wonderful option to get food to go. And that is it for today's Maui video. We still have a few more coming your way, and we hope that you'll join us to watch the rest of our Maui trip. We love sharing this trip with you. If you do like following along, or if you've found any of it to be helpful, it would mean so much if you could give us that thumbs up button or the subscribe button or both, and we'll see you next time.